Part 3, priority outsourcing. So it's not just enough to know, okay, I can hire a VA. I believe it's important that we prioritize what we delegate. So we're going to bring this slide up. I brought the slide up a bit earlier on. So one of the ways or methods to decide what to delegate is depending on what's your primary need. Is it to increase leads? Is it to improve your sales? Is it just to reclaim time for yourselves? Is it to cut costs, improve ops, and rapidly grow? That's one way. You can basically say, you know what, right now, my main thing is I need more leads, so you can focus your outsourcing on that part, right? But I'm going to give you a few other options. Number 2 is what I call the Morbid Method. The Morbid basically is to make a list of tasks that literally make you feel like death, right? It can be the mundane, the boring, the outside your skill set, the repetitive, the below your pay grade, the I don't want to do this stuff, and the draining stuff, right? That's number 2. Just sit down and say, okay, all the things I did last week, which one of these things make me feel like death? I really don't wake up in the morning looking forward to doing this. Option number 3, by the way, this is great task, then delegate to your VA. Option number 3, I call it the 6 question method. Number 1, think about the next 90 days in your business, right? What is it you want to achieve? What are some of the goals you've set your mind? Hopefully you're doing some form of planning, whether it's monthly planning, quarterly planning. If you're not, highly recommend you start doing that. In that planning, ask yourself, what are my commitments in terms of my business? Or what are some of the challenges I'm trying to overcome in the next 90 days? Once you have that answer, second question is basically, what is the best use of your time to achieve those goals or overcome those challenges? Number 3, now, what are you not doing? You've set these goals, you know you've got these challenges to overcome, which is, again, another form of a goal, but what are you not doing? How many of you have ever set goals and then not shown up for yourself and work towards those goals, right? Number 4, you've set these goals, you know what you need to be doing to overcome, but you're so bogged down with busy work, right? You're busy, but you're not being productive. Number 5, you're doing the work, and some of this work just leaves you feeling drained. How many kind of had that moment in the day where you just run out of steam? Why? Oftentimes it's because we're doing work that drains. When I do work that I feel like creative work, like I love to write, I love to create presentations, I feel jazzed, I can go on for hours and hours. But the moment I start doing low value work, I can do like a couple of hours and like I'm done for the day. Netflix syndrome, right? We do that kind of work and then we just turn on Netflix and we're not even sure what we're watching, right? So number 6, once we have answered these questions, we can take the answers from questions 3, 4, and 5, and now we have a list. But now we're going to decide, of this list that we've just come up with, we're going to pick 3 to 5 things to focus on. Just because you can delegate a lot in your business, I am not going to recommend that you start by trying to delegate everything. We've got to pick the battles. Why? Because you've got to take time to bring somebody into business. You've got to take time to meet with them on a daily basis, guide them on what to do. You've got to learn how to operate in the way that you want to operate. So more is not better when you start to work with VAs. This is a classic mistake I've seen entrepreneurs do. They write down 20, 30 different things they want to start delegating. They hire somebody and expect that somebody just to magically understand how to do those 20, 30 things for their business. Right? The 4th option I'm going to tell you is what I call it good as goals. This is when I start consulting clients. Basically, it's 4 quadrants, right? At the very top, you've got what you're good at doing. Then you've got what you're okay at doing, what you like doing, and what you dislike doing. What I'm going to recommend is you start with the dislike doing and what you're okay at doing. Hire people who can do it better than you and get some of that stuff on your plate. Now, the stuff on the other side, you might want to keep that to the last, right? Things you like doing, why? Because it brings you joy doing that, and things you're good at doing, right? Now, in theory, you could delegate all of it, but I'm going to give you kind of progression from where I would start in terms of thinking about that things. All right. Then remind you, when we choose not to delegate, it's costing us time, it's costing us money, and it's draining our brain. That's the most important thing we have to conserve if we want to grow and run a successful business. It's here. We've got to use this for the right purpose, not for low value work. All right, so the way we can help you, guide you through this process is just, when you go to our website, the same website you can download the guide from, there's a 9-minute video, quick introduction, and then you'll be able to set up a call with my executive assistant. She basically can walk you through the process we use. She can help answer questions. Again, she's my EA, so you're going to hear not from a salesperson, from somebody who I've been working with closely now 3-4 years that then helps my clients understand how best to hire a Filipino. We talk about cost, literally about $5-6 per hour. It even has as little as 1 hour per day. All right, let's talk about part 4. This is the heart of this thing. I believe that we all must master all areas of business, but the 2 areas I think are critical is leads and sales, right? I call it the lifeblood of your business. I'm not saying that leads and sales is going to solve every single problem that you have. What I'm saying is that when we can improve our cash flow situation, it helps a lot, all right? How many of you agree that, hey, if we can just make some tweaks and just improve money coming into our business, it solves a lot of some of the other stuff, right? 2 ways to do this. One is you delegate so you get more time back, so you can go out there and hustle and close more money, close more deals and sell. So one way is to reclaim time so you can be improving your marketing and you can be doing more sales. Number 2 is you can actually assign VAs to tasks that will actually help with both lead generation and sales. That's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus more on part 2 right now. How many of you go to networking events, whether it's in person, online, you're out there? Yeah, okay. Who is doing your post-networking follow-up? Think about this. Now, we know from sales experts, it takes anywhere from 8 to 80 touch points. That doesn't mean it's 80 conversations. It means that sometimes there has to be some form of interaction between you and a prospect, or your business and a prospect, before they make a buying decision. If you're not doing that work, you're losing money. In fact, you're probably wasting money networking by not having a good follow-up system, right? This is maybe if all your VA does for you, if you network and all your VA does for you is do the follow-up, then that's going to be gold for you. I believe this alone would have probably put at least 7 to 8 figures in my pocket if I just understood this 2 decades ago when I was starting my journey. Now, how do they follow up? They follow up by using a good CRM, right? I don't like logging into my CRM, right? I don't know what it is. I don't like logging into in fact, I don't really like logging into a lot of different softwares that I use. But VAs will. What I get in my WhatsApp message, I get action items. Bijal, you need to do this. Bijal, you need to do that. I've turned my VA into basically assisting me to know what I need to focus on the day. Now, she handles all of my sales calls, but sometimes she wants me to give her some answers, give her some solutions, maybe step into a sales process. It's all done through that. I don't need to log into my CRM. Be very careful. Don't misunderstand this. Your CRM is the heart, right? It is where you're going to manage your client data. It is where you're going to know where the money is sitting in the pipeline that's going to eventually come into your business. If you do not have a CRM, you're doing yourselves a disservice. And please talk to Elias. I'm sure many of you have heard that your CRM is the heart. It's going to tell you exactly. But if you're not really good at logging in and using it, find somebody who can help you with that. Okay, number 3, podcast and speaking opportunities, right? Getting yourself out there into whether it's into media or on stage somewhere or to speak to a group like this is another great way. But there's a lot of admin involved. Finding opportunities to be on a podcast, submitting your podcast information, getting you booked on podcasts, all admin roles. Or finding speaking opportunities, right? This is another great way to hire, to use a VA. So your message that's hopefully promoting your business gets out there to the world. Now, I said podcast speaking, it could be getting onto media, it could be getting into magazines, right? Any form of what I call mass marketing publications. LinkedIn. How many of you are using LinkedIn right now for your business? Good, couple, right? I believe we should all be using LinkedIn, especially if you're B2B, but not just B2B. It can also work effectively for B2C as well. Now, there's LinkedIn. There's 2 parts of LinkedIn. It's putting content out there on LinkedIn so people can find you and want to do business with you. But there's also LinkedIn outreach where you can reach out to your prospective markets and actually then engage them. Another way to use LinkedIn is find joint venture partners, people you can collaborate with, right? But again, admin heavy roles, day-to-day consistency, things entrepreneurs are not good at. We are not good at consistency. Because the reason we choose to become entrepreneurs is because our brains don't typically work in a consistent way. Once we start to recognize our behavior patterns, we can hire the right people to basically come in and do that kind of work for us. Facebook groups, right? Again, a 2-for-1. Whether you are engaging in Facebook groups or you have your own Facebook group, there's a lot of things that the VAs can be doing for you. In terms of, if you own a Facebook group, all the welcoming new members, making sure that people aren't spamming your groups, the admin level work. Or if you want to put a message out into multiple Facebook groups, maybe you're part of multiple Las Vegas groups and you want to basically, again, don't pitch. If you're part of other people's Facebook groups, don't pitch, but you can educate, and through that, people are going to get to know what you do. Number 6, content marketing. I'm going to be doing a much bigger presentation on this and show you how we set up AI correctly to produce quality content for about a $5 per day budget, as low as a $5 per day budget, right? But again, think about all the different platforms, think about all the different mediums, right? VAs can be the ones doing this work for you. Number 7, video shorts. I know technically it's part of social media. I just break it out because it's a little bit of a different skill set. I have a VA that just does this for me. Basically, I give her video footage like this. She takes it, she edits it, she puts it out there. People say, Bijal, there's some good stuff you're putting out there. I said, I don't actually know what's out there. I hope it's good, right? What I'm saying is that because I know that social media is important, I know that it's important to make sure to give you a brand presence, but it may not be the primary thing that brings in your leads. So while we are focused on the important things, your team's taking care of the secondary things for you, right? Because we know we need it. All the experts have shown that when we improve our social media, it improves conversion, improves credibility, that people want to do business with you, they feel that you're a genuine person, but when there's nothing out there, there's crickets, you're losing credibility. YouTube, again, people might put this under the social media umbrella, but again, slightly different skill set, longer form video. There's also more SEO involved. Again, VAs can be helping you grow your YouTube channel. Cold emailing doesn't work for everybody, but can work for some, right? So again, this is basically, and again, it's not just about opening up a Google account and just spamming people. There is an art and science to cold emailing. Now, something like this, the VA will do the admin level work. They're not going to be your cold emailing strategist. Don't just hire a VA and say, hey, do my cold emailing, right? You have to take some time to understand how cold emailing might work for you. Same as cold calling, right? We don't really do a lot of cold calling. We do warm calling, which is the leads have come in, they're expecting a call. That VAs don't mind that. If you want to just do pure cold calling today, in my opinion, AI will probably outperform a virtual assistant for cold emailing type stuff, right? If it's allowed, right? Number 10, this is my favorite. This is what's working really well for us right now. So about twice a month, I do an event. I promote that event on multiple platforms, as you can see. So I've named this the event Promo Flywheel. One event, marketed in multiple places. The setup of this, though, is very admin heavy. It would drive me crazy to even think about setting this up every 2 weeks, right? But my VA does all that for me. All I do is come up with the idea for the event, but the setup is done by my virtual assistant. Again, if you're working in a business where education is important, and by the way, an educated client is a great client. When you can educate, what I'm doing right now is I'm building rapport. I'm educating you on why I think this is important, right? Some of you might say, hey, Bijal, I really want to work with you guys. Some of you say, I'm not ready for that. That's fine. But I know that the more I do this, the more value I'm creating between us, right? We do that through different events, whether it's online events. I'm talking about online events, by the way, over here. Okay. How many of you have a local business where you're actually, it's geocentric, like your business is actually localized, like you want, okay? Whether you're local or not, we should still all be taking advantage of SEO, right? I ignored this for decades. I just thought, I just market online, blah, blah. But SEO is you've got to start thinking longer term right now. So if you're in this for the long term, 5, 7, 8, 10 years, start thinking SEO now. A little bit of SEO budget today will pay you back a lot in the future. Most people leave it way too late and then they say it doesn't work for me, and it won't, right? So SEO, again, we have low cost resources to help you with this, right? None of this stuff has to be big budget stuff, by the way. Reputation marketing. First of all, how many of you have websites that represent either you or your business? Okay, let me ask, who doesn't have a website that represents their business? Okay, good. Now, you don't, okay? What do you do? Okay, cool. Consultant level, like you're independent, or you? Okay, got it. Okay, cool. How many of you, the same people, how many of you actually have reviews popping up on your website? Right, look at that. Maybe 2%, 3% of the room. How many of you, before you go and buy something on Amazon, look at the number of reviews something's got, right? Or maybe you're going for a restaurant. How many of you look at reviews in a restaurant, okay? We all buy a lot of things based on reviews, correct? Our customers are doing the same thing. They're checking you out. You may have done all the work, right? Now imagine this. I've come here, I spent my time, I brought my family here, I've done all this great work for you. Yeah, and you said, let me just check this Bijal guy out. Right, what if you came to our website and there's no reviews, no testimonials? You might think, this is a bit kind of hokey, right? He's up here giving it this big show and tell, but there's no reviews. Do people really work with him? Do you know how many businesses today are not using reviews to promote themselves? It's almost 98% of businesses have not tapped into reviews. There's no reputation. There's nobody speaking on behalf of the business. Who would you rather listen to, me or my customers? Honestly speaking, customers, right? So we've got to increase now, but there's a system. It's not just about sending a link to people and say, hey, leave me a Google review. We can then take those reviews and market with those reviews. It's not just good enough that the reviews pop up on the website. We can convert them into social media content and post them. So again, busy work. You don't have to be the one doing it. Remember, $5 per hour. These are some of the methods I just talked about right now. You can just take a screenshot of that because it might start thinking, this may not be everything. You might be doing some things that even I haven't even thought about, but this might give you started in terms of, hey, if Bijal is saying that I can delegate many of the roles with these 12 things, what impact will it have on me? What am I missing? What else are you doing that you can maybe delegate some of that busy work to? All right, so let this be a catalyst. I'm not saying this is the be and end all list. This is just a starting point for you to think about how you can delegate some of that busy work. All right, so what I like to do here is when I'm doing my brainstorming, I create like a mind map of the different ways I am, and I should be marketing my business. Then what I do is I color code it. What am I not doing? What's not working? What's on pause? What am I doing that's working? What am I doing that's working well? Every month I look at this flywheel. I look at, okay, what do I need to do? What do I change it? How do I increase my lead flow? What can I delegate more? If there's stuff I'm not doing, why am I not doing it? Who can I bring in to help me with that, right? So every month, or at least every quarter, but I like to do it every month, create your flywheel. Once you've done it once, then you can just keep updating the same flywheel. You don't have to do it. Ask yourself the question, what am I not doing? The reason companies don't make money, they're not focusing here in their business. They're doing busy stuff. It makes them feel good and say, yeah, I'm really busy, but I'm not making enough money. Why? Because this is not working for you guys. All right, once I've done that, once I've got my flywheel, then I can make a list. Okay, what's my methods? What's my current spend? How much money am I spending on tools, on software, on people for each method? How much time am I investing on this? What's my ROI for that method, right? Again, this is the data and numbers. Remember I told you? Entrepreneurs, generally speaking, are resistant to numbers. We don't look at this stuff. We have no idea how much money we're spending. We have no idea how much time we're spending. I couldn't even tell you, right? But my VA could, right? Then we can decide, okay, if I want to improve any of these, what do I have to do? What software do I need? What's my VA role going to be? This is how we can very simply start to improve our core assistance. All right, so how many are thinking, may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but soon, hey, I need to start thinking about really delegating something out, right? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome.